But I think when we try to be responsible, we fall back into things that we just accept as not great. They kind of suck, but I'm going to do it because that's responsible. And everyone's going to feel bad for me if I'm miserable, and everyone's going to get it because I'm being responsible. But if I'm not responsible and I'm doing something unexpected, out of the norm, something that feels more alive and free, that isn't responsible. And I'm saying this because I've fallen for that too. So I put off my, the true stuff I wanted to do, helping people live better lives, follow their dreams more, be more themselves, being more myself by putting out a show, doing live comedy, whatever. I chose to engage in activities that drained me energetically, that didn't leave time for the stuff that really mattered. And I did it for way too long because I wanted to be responsible. It felt like you have to be responsible, right? But what I've realized lately is that maybe there's a better way. Maybe what we think is responsible is actually the most irresponsible thing you could do. Like building a business or taking a job, stuff that's just going to rob you of your energy, your time, your vitality in order to pay the bills as a means to an end, but then drains your energy so you never get to do the end thing. Maybe that is the most irresponsible thing you could do. Maybe an extreme example. You've got, you're a single parent. You've got a kid. You default. You got to pay bills. You got to make sure everyone's surviving, but you default to survival mode. And when we default to survival mode, we do things we wouldn't normally do that we don't like. Meanwhile, you're setting a bad precedent for that kid, showing them that work is suffering, life is suffering, your dreams don't matter. You just got to do what you got to do, even if it makes you unhappy. And I get it. We all have we do have things that have to be paid. But there has to be at least a way to leave room and energy for what you really want. Because I think what you really want often feels irresponsible because it doesn't fit cleanly into a, readily definable role in society. What you really want is usually something more artistic, it almost feels selfish because you would like it. But isn't the most responsible thing doing something that you like, that makes you come alive, that's more aligned with your strengths, even if you haven't ever done it before? Because it's going to give you energy and you're going to be able to do it longer and you're going to be able to follow through and you're going to be able to be motivated and wake up every day and do it. And doesn't that guarantee more success than doing the responsible thing? Because if you're more motivated, you have more energy, you want to do it more often, longer, it gives other aspects of your life energy. If I just think a little bit and I think about how I can use those gifts and talents that I have to serve other people in a way that they're willing to pay, it could be in an entrepreneurial way, a self-employed way, or it could be through a job, but a job that you would actually want and like. I'm not saying it's not the norm, but it's possible. Doing all that is responsible. I don't know. I think society just beats us down and makes us feel like the only way to be responsible is to be miserable. And I think in the short term, you got to do what you got to do. But beyond that, if you're not at least setting aside time, a little bit, if not all of it, to do something you actually are, that like resonates with you, then you're never going to have the success that you want, the great success, the huge, wilder success than you can ever imagine.